Integers and absolute value. Section 2-1, 61. You guys ready? Yeah, Madeline? Sorry. Yeah. I'm getting a new light bulb. For you guys? Yeah, we will do. Yep. That'll be, I have it in Google Classroom. If you guys ever want to know when your next quiz is going to be, you can always look in Google Classroom. So, come on. So week 3, I think it's, yep. Quiz 1 is going to be for on this coming Friday for everyone. Okay. All right. What was that? No, it won't be open notes, no calculator. Yep. Unless I end up putting in vocab, then I will allow you to have some notes for vocab, or if there's equations you need to have written down, which you won't for this section. But that'll be later sections that you might need that. 2-1, 2-1, page 61. All right, so some of our new vocab words, we have a negative number, so any number that's less than 0. A positive number, any number that's greater than 0. And then an integer. So an integer is a positive number and negative number, and then it also includes 0. So integers is everything that's negative, everything that's positive, as long as it's a whole number. So it goes indefinitely, and it includes 0. Okay, so example 1. Example numero uno. Okay, write an integer for each situation. So letter A, we have 23 degrees Fahrenheit below 0. Logan, how would I write that in integer form? Yeah, just negative 23. Negative 23, going to be degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't say that in the book, but that is what it would be. Negative 23 degrees Fahrenheit. We don't get those kind of temperatures, but over on the east side of Oregon and Washington, and over in the Midwest, you're going to be seeing negative temperatures a lot. Letter B. Letter B, 11 inches more than normal. 11 inches more than normal. Alan, how am I going to write that? Yeah. Yep, just plus 11. So positive 11. And we don't have any, oh yeah, we do. We have inches. Plus 11 inches. Okay. That is all you guys are going to do for example 1. Just being able to write down real world situations. How you guys feel about that? Pretty good? Madeline? Peachy? Sweet. All right. This isn't too bad so far. All right, example number 2. Okay, so first off, we have a couple more vocab words. We have coordinate. So that is a number that corresponds to the point on a number line. So if I have a number line here, and I have -3, 0, +3, and I have some numbers in between. So if I have a point on 0, bless you, 0. So if I have a point there on 0, that right there is going to be a coordinate on my number line. So anywhere that has a point or a decimal point, that is going to be my coordinate. And then an inequality. So an inequality is something that is comparing quantities. So what that means, let's say we have -3. So -3 is less than 0. The way I would draw an arrow, which is what we'll be getting into here pretty soon, is I would draw an arrow going this way. Okay, and that would end up being an open circle when we get to number lines. Have you guys done that before? Yeah, okay. So that's a little bit of review. Okay, so comparing integers, example number 2. Example 2, comparing integers. So write two inequalities involving 1 and -2. Okay, so we have 1 and -2. So whenever you guys see this, I've heard a couple people ask me, is that an 8? That's an and sign for those of you who haven't seen an and sign like that before. So 1 and -2. I use that quite a bit. So that's what that means. So letter A, write the two inequalities involving 1 and -2. Okay, so 1 is greater than -2. That's one way I could write it in a number sentence. Or if I wanted to write it out in word form, 1 is greater than -2. Okay. What was that? Sorry, one more time. Yeah, the word sentence. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So the difference between the two. So another way I could write this is -2 is less than 1. So you are just comparing the two numbers or three numbers that they're giving you. Yep. That's all you're doing with inequalities. You're just comparing numbers or quantities. Okay. I'm not going to do letter B because it's just the same thing that we just did. All right, example number 3. Example number 3. All right, so Bethany and her friends played a question and answer video game. Their scores at the end of the game were 1, -5, 0, -1, 2, and 4. Order the numbers of the scores from least to greatest. So all I would do is I would draw out a number line, and all of the points that they just gave me, I'm going to plot them on this number line. So from -7 all the way to +7. In the middle, I got a 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First number I have was +1. I'm going to plot a point right there. Plot a coordinate. -5 is going to be right here. I got 0. There's another point right there. -1 right there. 2 right there. And +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're just plotting coordinates. All right. So now we're going to get into the part that gets a little bit more tricky if you haven't worked with absolute values before. So example 4. So first off, what's an absolute value? The absolute value of a number is the distance the number is from 0 on a number line. So -6 and 6 have the same absolute value. So what does that mean? So when you see these signs right here and you see a number inside that sign, you're taking the absolute value of it. So what that means is the absolute value of 6 is going to be 6. What's going to be the absolute value of -6? It's also going to be 6. So you are taking numbers that have a positive value or negative value. When you take the absolute value of it, it's going to be positive every time. All right. Have you guys learned about that before? A little bit, maybe? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's all you're doing for absolute value. So if I had a number sentence, number sequence, sentence, whatever you want to call it. So let's say I have the absolute value of, -10 minus the absolute value of +5. What is that going to equal, Ellen? Yeah, so I'm just going to take the absolute value of 10, that's just going to be +10, minus the absolute value of 5, which is just going to be 5. 10 minus 5 equals 5. Yeah, it's not bad. As long as you know what absolute value means and how to navigate around it, it won't be bad. All right. So what happens when we have an algebraic expression with absolute value. So, okay. So for this example, so the last example we have, example 5, I have, it says evaluate 6 plus the absolute value of x. So, and then I'm just going to say, it says x equals -2 in this situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to substitute the -2 for the x. So x plus the absolute value of -2. And then from there, it's the same thing. So 6 plus the absolute value of 2, which is 2. 6 plus 2 is going to equal 8. And that is it. You guys okay with absolute values? All right. So that's all for your guys' math. You guys have worksheet 2-1, which I have printed out this time. I was actually ready to go with that. Where is my thing at?